Hey guys, hello, welcome back to my channel Get Certified. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Benak and I'm here as your host and to explain you about your next ABAP certification. So in the previous video we had a quick overview of the most important topics in the domains which SAP recommends which we need to cover. So let's go right into it. Today the topic which we are going to cover is Workbench usage. So basically I made a small PPT. I just noted down the important points and the topics which we need to cover for our ABAP certification guide. And for each of the topic I'd basically tell you a bit theoretically what it means, and then I'll show you a bit of demonstration with all the important notations in the SAP logon screen. So well, let's begin with our first topic of the certification course. So in the today's rundown we are going to see the following topics and the techniques which you will need to know, and by the end of the video you should be able to answer this question. The first is explain the structure of the object, that's object navigator. Well, just before that, the ABAP, let's talk a little bit about the ABAP Workbench. In really simple words, you can say the ABAP Workbench is the development environment for an ABAP developer. So ABAP stands for Application Advanced Business Application Programming, and the ABAP Workbench is the development environment for the ABAP developers like you. So the ABAP Workbench consists of all the development tools and which is required for creating repository objects. A repository in SAP terms is it refers to the database objects, and as you know that SAP there are transactions via which we can access any system or particularly a transaction as they say. So for having access to ABAP Workbench, we use a transaction SE80, which is SE80, and the object navigator, which you can see explain the structure of the object navigator. Navigator, you can define it as the main entry point to the ABAP Workbench, and can be accessed from the menu overview and then object navigator. We'll have a look at it into great details once I turn on the SAP system, and then I can show you into in great details what it contains and all the elements which it contains one by one. The next the next more important topic which we are going to see is describe the features and capabilities of the ABAP Workbench. So yeah, we'll see what we can do with our ABAP Workbench, and then we'll see the use of our repository browser, and we'll use it to edit our objects. As I told you, it's mostly the database objects which we refer to as repository objects, and then we'll access the repository information system in SAP terms. So repository information system is basically the database to search for database objects, so which we call the repository objects. And then the next topic we'll understand is the enhancement information system and how it works. We'll just have an overview of the entire SAP system of our not the entire SAP system, just particularly the repository objects in the ABAP Workbench tools which you have. So we'll just have an overview, and then in the later videos I'll explain to great details what it actually does, and with sample code so that it's easy for you to understand. So the next things we are going to talk about is the ABAP Workbench tools, the tools which are available and what you can do with the tools, and then we'll identify the various editor available for us in which we can actually write our ABAP codes. So well, there are like three editors. There are two front-end editors and one back-end editor, which we are going to talk about later in the video, and we'll see the various settings which are available to us to improve our productivity, which with which we can actually change color of the keywords, and we can make our code like what we call is the beautification of the code. And finally, under this module, we'll determine what the concept of development package. So we'll see what development package is and why we assign all for development under a development package, and we'll have a look at the transport organizer and what it does, and what is the importance of it and how we organize it. So Okay, so let's start with the ABAP workbench, and let's have a look at the key concepts. So the first thing you see here is the ABAP editor. So ABAP editor is exactly the text area where you actually write the code. So let's get right into it and have my SAP login screen open up so that you can actually have a look how the SAP screen editor, the SAP ABAP editor looks like. So here you can see this area is what we call the SAP editor, or rather I would say the ABAP editor. Well, this transaction, as I told you already, this is SAT, and this is called the ABAP workbench. So the main screen of the ABAP workbench is divided into the navigation area and the main tool area. Well, the navigation area displays all the objects as a you can find all the object as a tree. The object list, well, this is what we call the object list, and it will contain all the list of all the objects which are available within an application area. Like, say for example, package, we have program, we have global class, and we have local objects and classes which we can or module or function. We'll go through this later when we actually see into greater depth what this actually means. Well, the benefit of editing or displaying the object within the application Navigator is that you can view all of the related objects for your program or your class, as a matter of fact, and you can access them from the navigation area just by double clicking on the object. Say for example, I would need to create a new program, so I double click on the program option, and then you mention your name, and then your program is created right away. We'll go into great depth how to create a program in the upcoming minutes. So before that, let me explain you a little bit about the terminologies which we use to define some objects. Say for example, this what we call is the tool area, and if we right click on it, we'll have a couple of menus which we call the tool area menu. Tool area context menu, as a matter of fact. This is what we call your navigation area, where you have all your objects which you are going to use for your program, and if you right click on it, you'll have another menu which we call the navigation area context menu, and then this is what we call an object list selector, which helps you to select between different types of object. So you'll have either your program, your function group, your function module. So this is together what you call is the object list selector. So just to give you a heads up, SAP during the certification exam will try to confuse you with the terms which is what, so be extremely careful when the terms are used, when the technical terms that are used to mention a specific area of the screen and questions based on it. So well, the tool area is used to display or edit the repository object using the relevant tools editor, and the navigation area or the tool area of course can be resized, so you can click here and actually resize your recipe the tool area with your navigation area, and then there is an option, I believe this, which would help you to get into full screen and hide the navigation area if you prefer to do so. Well, next what we can see is the object navigator as a menu option to display the navigation history. So you can actually have a list of all the navigation history which you did to have a shortcut, as a matter of fact. So to do that, you go to the option utilities, and there should be somewhere out here which is called display navigation window. So here what you can see is your navigation history, and basically I'm guessing this is what we call a work list, and this is what this part is what we call the navigation stack. So there is another way you can access this. You can close it right up here, and then there is this shortcut which you can use to do the same. So basically, say for example, you're writing some other code in some another or so, as a matter of fact, some other programs. So what you can do is you can click on this button, the blue button. You can access the previous program which I was working on, and then you can click right ahead out here instead of actually going to the correct object and then writing your name, writing the name of your program again. You can have a quick access from this blue button right here. So let's close this. Well, also, if you want, you can create your own work list within the ABAP Workbench. Well, a work list, as I showed you right before, is useful to help you actually manage the development objects on which you need to work. So, say for example, you need to create your own work list. So for that, what you need to do is you need to go to Utilities and Work List and actually click on this Insert Current Object. And what this will do is add your current session to a work list, and then what you can do is you can actually switch from between the different work lists. So for displaying, what we do is we go to the same option, work list, and then we click on the display to actually display all the work list via this menu path. Another very useful thing for the ABAPers who have just started to learn ABAP code is the examples which are provided to you by SAP. So what you can do is you can go to environment, and then you should have what is called examples right here. Then you can actually click on ABAP examples, which will give you a list of ABAP examples which should show up right here. It'll give you a list of all the sample ABAP programs, and then what you can do is you can click we can click any one of it, and then you'll actually have an executable code which is provided to you by SAP, and the actual program is displayed in the tool area of the object navigator, and then ABAP example demonstrates most of the keywords and syntax used on the ABAP documentation. So guys, like, if you really want to understand any of the concepts, and if you're really not sure about it, or even if you want to reuse any of the code into your own program, you can right away copy paste, and it'll save you a lot of time. So so this transaction, and then you can access the same screen, the same transaction via another transaction code, which is called ABAP ABAP which is the ABAP docu. It'll open up the same screen for you. So there you go, and you can actually see there is a lot of free stuff provided by SAP for you to understand the basics and help you from there. Right, so let's close the screen up, and then you can access the let's go back to our previous screen. So basically you can access the individual tools to create the repository object using individual transaction codes, or you can access the most commonly used tool from the object navigator, which is right here. Well, the initial screen of the object navigator will display to you browser list on the top. On the top left, on the top left side of your screen, and the object navigator has several browsers that are used for various development needs. You have the option to navigate to the relevant tool based on the selected browser from the browser list, which is right about here. We can also either add or remove browsers from the list. We need to go to Utilities and then Settings. Sorry for that. There you go. So we can edit basically what we need and what we don't need from this menu. So this has turned out to be a really long video, and in the next video I'm going to talk to you about browser select, the browser which are available to you, which is these browsers, and we're going to talk into greater depth what this means and what are the functionalities of each of these browsers. So guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Until then, peace and keep coding hard. See you guys.